looks like everyone's here. Now, before we begin, why don't we finish where we left off yesterday? There was an important
Is that really the most important part, though? Heavy walls, cold railings, dim lights. This is obviously
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's obvious the scriptwriter has never...
So the set is going to be a part of the script?
Unfortunately, that is something I cannot...
Anyone think Cloran's smile is starting to...
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push on. But first, we should really figure out what to do with... If we're worried about arousing suspicion because of our identity, why don't we give ourselves a different name, just like Cloran's master did?
Yeah, it might be better to keep a low profile. As long as we're helping people, it doesn't matter who we are or what...
Staring at me won't get you anywhere. Or did you want some more tea?
Paimon's good. Thanks. Why aren't you saying anything, Navia? Wait, what's that next to you?
Oh, this is the short sword Cloran mentioned last night. I found it.
Huh.
Well, I made sure to take good care of it, considering the... Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. I was just thinking about all the...
Wait, we haven't been thrown into prison yet.
Well, it's only a matter of time. It pays to be prepared. Just like how you should always have an umbrella on hand.
Alright, Paimon's made up her mind. Let's just give the treasure away. Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy her snacks.
So, you reached an agreement?
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of treasure on the ground as well.
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back to the capital with your bag of loot in... The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere. But your spirits are surprisingly high in places where sunlight struggles to reach. You generously share your wealth with the children, the elderly, and the poor in urgent need of help.
Thank you, kind soul.
The elderly woman's look of gratitude follows you as you walk away, her eyes never leaving your back until you move entirely out of sight.
She's probably trying to tell us to speed this up. We need to hurry up so we can address the sorcerer
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a pretty responsible guy. I'm sure he knows the people here far better than us.
Oh, good idea!
Just as you start to make way to the square, intent... Please wait, distinguished guests. Several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you and proceed to politely pay their...
Greetings, gentlemen. Are we being invited for afternoon tea?
Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place. It is His Excellency the King who requests to meet with you. Please...
Do you think this could be a trap?
Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right? Meeting the king himself would be a fantastic opportunity to do that.
I say we go for it. If something happens, we'll just turn the whole place upside down.
That sounds a little intense.
After a quick discussion, you nod to the guards and agree to follow. Gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques, glass shelves, and silver candlesticks.
Wow, it's so luxurious!
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, he wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg set right at the They're here, your majesty. A man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister, shields his mouth with his hands and bends down to whisper a few words to the king. After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back up.
The king does not appear entirely aware of his surroundings. The man by his side, though.
The king remains still and says, "Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you for coming to our faraway kingdom. Unfortunately, His Majesty the King finds himself quite... I've heard tell that your group, the Marechaussee Hunters, used your exceptional ability. However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat with my own eyes..."
Well, we've got nothing to hide. You brought us here to talk, right? So we'll just explain what happened. The golem's blades were so powerful, they could cut down trees in a single swipe! It took a lot of effort to defeat them, even for trained swordsmen like us. Well, that was enough details, right? Believe us now?
Your account does indeed match those of the survivors. Since you were the ones who defeated the monsters, that must mean you are also in possession of the treasure they stole?
Well, we did take the treasure.
How did he know about the treasure?
Then I must ask that you return it at once.
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward? Shouldn't the treasure be considered a part of that?
Yes, that was indeed what I said. Only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a reward. Taking the rightful wealth of a kingdom.
But that's completely unreasonable!
Yeah, that makes no sense! If it weren't for us, the treasure would still be buried in your ground.
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried to dispose of the treasure without reporting it to the court and without receipt. What? No answer? Surely you're not insinuating that you, a group of legend...
Well, what about the king? Is he just gonna let this go?
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hands resting on either side of the throne. His posture is rigid and unmoving.
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister be the evil sorcerer?
I would like to observe the number of guards stationed in the hall.
The guards in the palace appear fully armed, their expressions solemn. Sensing the tense atmosphere in the room, they stand at the ready, each with a hand